The whip cracks down in the center of District 12. Gale Hawthorne is bleeding on the cobblestones for the crime of poaching, hunting wild game off-limits to citizens. In the eyes of this new regime, Gale is no longer a resident. He is quarry, an animal to be broken in the square. For years, the district survived on a quiet understanding with the old leadership. You look the other way, we don't starve. That unspoken agreement is gone. The new head peacekeeper, Romulus Thread, has arrived, replacing apathy with zero-tolerance martial law. With no weapons to stop the punishment, Katniss does the only thing she can. She throws her own body directly into the path of her assailant, taking the violent physical blow across her own face to shield Gale's back. A brutal splatter of blood hits the freezing snow. Thread doesn't blink. He simply gathers the thick coil of the whip into neat loops, fully prepared to strike the reigning Hunger Games victor. Before the arm falls again, Haymitch and Peeta push through the crowd. They don't use physical force. Instead, Haymitch weaponizes Katniss's value to the Capitol, reminding Thread that he is about to permanently scar the face of President Snow's favorite new bride. This creates a terrifying predicament for the trio. It's a highly precarious situation. They have successfully paused the execution, but Thread is unyielding, staring them down in the freezing wind with his hand resting on the whip. Thread backs down, but the message is delivered. Gale will survive the afternoon, yet the violent repercussion for a single turkey makes the new reality undeniable. The unwritten rules that kept District 12 alive are permanently erased. The noise of the square fades into the howl of a winter blizzard. Peeta and Haymitch have to haul Gale's unconscious, bleeding body through the heavy snow, pulling him back to the seam and into Katniss's kitchen. Inside the house, Katniss's mother takes charge. Usually fragile and distant, she now draws on her past training as an apothecary, a preparer and seller of traditional medicines, to command the room. The long kitchen table is rapidly stripped bare. In its place, she establishes a sterile perimeter, laying out clean white cloths alongside a series of glass bottles and dried herbs. She begins the slow process of cleaning the wounds, painstakingly arranging the shredded flaps of skin the peacekeeper managed to mutilate. She works a hot tincture, a concentrated liquid herbal extract, into the cuts, applying a second brewed remedy specifically designed to draw out the inflammation and heat rising from his back. Inside this cramped house, the quiet, hyper-focused triage becomes a physical representation of the district itself. It is a fragile, desperate defense against an overwhelming wall of capital brutality. But the district's medical resources are meager. Their limited supply of weak painkillers wears off quickly, leaving Gale to wake up thrashing in agonizing pain. The sound pushes Katniss past her limits. Unable to process the raw suffering in front of her, she snaps, screaming a harsh obscenity at her own mother, before Peeta literally drags her from the room. Relief only arrives with the doorbell. Madge Undersea, the mayor's daughter, has braved the whiteout conditions to deliver a small cardboard box containing half a dozen vials of high-grade capital morphling. As the needle pierces Gale's arm, a dark irony settles over the house. The very government that ordered his flesh stripped from his bones is the sole manufacturer of the drug required to let him sleep. The Capitol controls the violence, and they control the salvation. The morphling floods Gale's system, and the suffocating tension in the kitchen finally begins to deflate. The crisis has passed, leaving Katniss alone in the quiet dark. Sitting beside him, her thoughts drift to the old regime. She thinks of the starving girls from the seam vying against each other at the peacekeeper's door, competing to sell their bodies just to afford bread. She realizes that mere survival under those terms was never truly living. This diagram breaks down her internal interrogation regarding the poisonous nightlock berries. She considers 3 possible motivations. Was she simply afraid of being shunned? Self-preservation makes her despicable. Love makes her self-centered. Neither branch explains what she did in front of the cameras. Only one honest answer is left. Holding out the berries was a direct act of rebellion. It was a rejection of the Capitol's absolute authority over her life and death. And that realization breaks her escape plan wide open. Running away into the woods with her family won't fix anything. Life in District 12 operates by the exact same rules as the Hunger Games. It is simply a larger, colder arena. The girl who wanted to flee into the forest is dead. As Gale wakes up, Katniss makes her choice. She isn't running. She is going to stay right here, stand her ground, and actively cause trouble.